Meleegy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Your Excellency, now the UN, the United Nations rights experts have warned on Monday that Israel have been risking becoming an international pariah over its genocide war in Gaza. How did you follow these comments?
Well, actually, I mean, this is not, a discovery coming from the United Nations. We on this program have mentioned from your side and my side and many other experts that Israel is becoming more and more a pariah state due to its negligence to the international law and the international humanitarian law with the war crimes it's committing, especially the genocide. It has been accused by the ICJ. It has been accused, its Prime Minister and its Defense Minister have been accused by the International Criminal Court, and the United States actually is also involved in the massacres that is taking place in Palestine, and also recently, as we have seen, in Lebanon as well. I mean, the last incident of the pager explosions that everybody is talking about
in Lebanon,
and we have seen many reports saying that this cannot happen except from a country that is really advanced in technology such as Israel.
Israel, yes.
Unfortunately, and I want to mention this incident because actually it shows a very important point that we are seeing Israel internationally committing a war crime, since it is targeting indiscriminately Lebanese people. I mean, this pager could be held by a doctor as well as it could be held by one of the Hezbollah operatives. So this is the indiscriminate targeting of civilians that we have mentioned before, and that they are accusing Hamas of doing so the 7th of October. And here Israel, clear in front of the whole world, is doing the same thing by indiscriminately targeting people who are carrying just a pager. They could be from the medical staff, they could be from Hezbollah operatives, they could be simple civilian Lebanese. And I think that this is one more crime to be added to Israel's crime. And unfortunately, the United States, although I didn't hear any of the reports, will not be able to comment on this incident until it gathers all the information, the necessary information, which it usually says, and we never hear any result or any conclusion from the American administration after gathering all these information. We are still waiting, for example, of the information gathered from El Shifa Hospital that was blown in the beginning and early hours of the war on Gaza. And so far we didn't hear from the United States any results about this, simply because it covers for Israel crimes.
Yes, Your Excellency, Ambassador Meleegy, also several independent UN experts discussed also Israel escalating violence in Gaza and also in the West Bank, and putting away or disregarding the international court rulings, and also the attack on the UN itself. The UNRWA have been attacked several times in Gaza, and killing of more than 100 of the UNRWA members also, and also the verbal attacks for the UN from Israel. And the UN Rights Committee suggested that Israel UN membership should be called into question. Into question. So how did you read this?
Well, actually there are several levels on reading this. First of all, as I mentioned before, I think this organization, which is the UNRWA, which is a very important organization for the Palestinians, has to be abolished. We have to revert to the original body, which is the UNHCR. Because when Israel is taking any steps against the UNRWA, it's taking steps only against the Palestinian people. It's a body that was created only for Palestinians, and accordingly Israel can either help or obstruct its work in Palestine. We have seen over 200 of its personnel killed, and the world did not say anything. I think Israel will not be capable of doing the same thing if the body of the United Nations there would be the UNHCR and not the UNRWA. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Israel is enjoying a cover from their partners and their allies, such as the United States and most of NATO countries. And that's why, until today, with all the condemnation worldwide, we haven't heard one word of condemnation from the United States or from its Western allies. We hear them speaking about expressing their concerns, or that the war has to stop, or the civilians has to be spared from this war, and so forth. But we didn't hear one word of condemnation, which shows the support that Israel is getting from the Western administration.
Yes.
And this actually shows us why Israel is continuing, why Israel is escalating, because it's getting this support, and it's getting an unconditional help and a stream of arms and ammunition that is enable it from going there. I just want to say one thing. Israel would not have been able to continue so far in this war. We are approaching the second year of this war without the support of these Western countries. So the idea of just telling us what we want to hear, that this war wants to stop and that Israel has to be held accountable and all these kind of words will not be serious unless this is accompanied by real measures against the Israeli state. And as long as we did not hear that, we hope that this time, as you know, Mr. Blinken is now here in Egypt for the strategic talk with Mr. Badr Abdulati, our Minister of Foreign Affairs. I hope that in addition of co-chairing this strategic dialogue with the Egyptian officials, we are going to seriously discuss the ongoing efforts to reach a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip that ensures the release of the detainees and alleviates the suffering of the Palestinian people and the Palestinian prisoners in the Israeli dungeons.
Yes. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Your Excellency, Ambassador Medhat Meleegy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you very much for joining us over the phone. And this is a short break, and I'm going to be back with you.